Hey all, good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever it may be for wherever you are. I am Stephanie Joy with all things Social Security and the Joy Disability Law Office. Your video is about to start. I wanted to remind you of our live Q&A sessions here on YouTube as well. They start at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so it's a little earlier for you Western folks. And I look forward to seeing you there. It's a first come, first served basis in terms of the questions you might want to pose in the chat. And I will pick them up going from beginning to end for about a 2 hour period. So, anyway, I hope to see you there. Have a great one, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Just a quick touch on something that I was just reminded of as I'm working through a win here with a client. When you applied for SSD or SSI, if you did not put a bank account down on your application, and by the way, when I file for people, I don't put it down for other reasons that I think are in other videos. So I may not have to touch on that here. But when you get the word that you've prevailed, or you get a call from the field office after you've been for many months at the other office with the medical workup, that might be a sign that you've prevailed. They will likely be calling you to tell you that they need you to contact them to give them your banking information for your direct deposit. That would be potentially a direct deposit for your back benefits as well as for your prospectives. If you don't have a bank account that you trust, that is not about to be leaned by creditors that have been hounding you since you haven't been able to work, the other option will be the debit card, and they can help you with that also. So you one way or the other, if you don't hear from them, once you know you have prevailed, let's say you've gotten a letter, but they don't, nobody called you. If you get a letter saying that you've prevailed, an award letter, they might end up sending you a hard check, but I would hop right on that horn and be proactive and call them to give them whichever information they're going to give them. I mean, it is so nice having direct deposit, I have to say. Uh, just having it plop in there on that particular Wednesday, right? Or if you're SSI at the beginning of the month. But Direct Express debit card, which is the one that I think they still use, is also pretty great. And so if you have an untrustworthy bank account or no bank account at all, you can always use that one. Generally speaking, I believe you go to an ATM to take your money out, and you probably get charged a few bucks by the ATM. Maybe there's certain ones that don't charge for that. I don't know specifically. I know the person I know that has a Direct Express gets charged $3 every time. So you kind of want to take out the biggest amount you can. Maybe find out which bank ATM lets you take out the most, because I know, like, I think it was PNC only let you take out 700, but Wells Fargo lets you take out 1,000. So I guess the banks vary in terms of their protections against someone getting their hands on someone else's card and emptying the bank account. But just a thing you're going to want to make sure you contact the SSA. And I know right now with the last couple of years with the bad phone systems, that can be difficult. If you have an extension, it's probably something you could feel comfortable about leaving on the voicemail, I would think. But if you don't want to, just, keep getting through, keep calling, waiting on hold, doing what you have to do. And I know offices vary greatly. Some are horrendous and don't pick up the phone at all. I was talking recently about one out in Nevada. Not only do they not pick up, they don't even let you leave a message, and they don't give you the option of holding on. They eventually say, "We're too busy to take your call back later." The most infuriating message of all, I think. Most infuriating. There are so many other options they could be using, but they're not. Anyhow, can't really solve that problem right now. Hopefully that's going to be solved soon with some of this restructuring. But you got to get them that information, or else you're going to be kind of in the conundrum of probably just automatically being sent a debit card. I'm thinking that's what they're going to do if they can't get your bank account information. So if you wanted to go to a bank account, you want to reach out. If you were one of the people that felt very confident that you had a bank account that would be reliable in a couple of years when you finally won your case and you did give it, you probably don't have to worry about this. But that's another, and like I said, I think I have a video on this elsewhere. If you were having financial struggles, you might not have done that. And I often tell people to think strongly about whether you're going to give a bad bank account or a potentially bad bank account in the beginning, because if you forget all about it, which you will, um, there have been instances where people have had bad bank accounts in there, and now the money's been sent to a bad bank account, and then it takes months for it to work itself out in the wash, and now you're going extra months without your back benefits or your forward benefits. So I'm not in favor of it. And yeah, minds can certainly differ on this. And I also just don't accept bank account numbers from my clients because I don't want that in my possession. We have a lot of confidential information and a lot of encryption, but I'm not taking anything I don't need to take. You know, so, and because I think it's for most people, and what I do, for most people, I think they are not sure if they're going to have the same bank account. Some people are like, we might be moving, we might be, um, but for those that do, they can literally call as soon as they should be able to make the call as soon as they have the pending claim. And the SSA should take it belatedly. But I did have one client who did that, and I forget which SSA field office in the nation it was, but the staffer told him, oh no, we won't take that until, unless you are a beneficiary. Well, then why did you ask for it on the application when they're not a beneficiary and they're even further away from beneficiaryhood? But anyway, you get different answers from staffers. But anyway, just wanted to fill that in. We had a kind gentleman from a Covington, Virginia office call. My client and I returned the call to find out for sure. This meant it was a win. And now she can call and give the appropriate information that he needs. But usually I make the phone calls to make sure everything's kosher. Because you just never know with all the phishing and scams going on. So I make all the phone calls for my clients and I run interference like that to make sure everything's good. But anyway, he called her right away. So I thought that was super nice. And now she's going to get to move forward. And now we know that we won, which took forever. It was a recon win, by the way. I know they want to get rid of recon, but if it wasn't for recon, she'd be waiting for a hearing. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye.